Hello and welcome to Cornwall Hospice Care once again, because on Tuesday we were talking to you about Hospice Care Week, which is a national initiative, and we talked about the importance of our staff and what they do, all the various jobs they do to make our charity work. Today we're celebrating our volunteers. We have volunteers everywhere, right across the charity, from our garden, which you can see just outside where people are busy at the moment, right the way through to what goes on our wards. And we're just walking through the ward now at Mount Edgecombe Hospice. And we have volunteers here who help to look after things by serving meals to the patients, chatting to them and doing all sorts of other things. In fact, one of our volunteers is probably going to walk past us in a minute as we go up the corridor.
I will.
Yeah, well done and good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
But also they're outside the hospices, because every shop that we have supporting Cornwall Hospice Care is full of volunteers. And in fact, at St Column, our shop is run entirely by volunteers. They help with our fundraising activities and many other jobs besides. You'll find them in our offices, for instance. And I'm going to take you out now onto the concourse. We've just come through the ward area. And just inside the doors here, there's a picture of one of the key volunteers in our history. This is Mrs. Enid Dalton-White. She was a volunteer, and it was her vision that helped us to create Mount Edgecombe Hospice. It began with her and all the fundraising she did. And I'm telling you this because there's a link to someone that I'm going to introduce you to over here. Do come and take a seat. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I want you to meet, first of all, Anna, who's one of our volunteers at Cornwall Hospice Care. And you have a link, don't you, to Mrs. Dalton-Smith. Tell me more.
I certainly do. She was such an inspiration. I think everybody she met, she could ask, oh, could you help me with this? And nobody could say no to her. And I helped her with some admin when I had young children at home. Our paths had crossed. And she was doing her sending out requests to people to get them interested in getting the hospice off the ground. And she really was an inspiration. And so I did some sort of admin.
And I think I might have just called her Mrs. Dalton-Smith, which is terrible. It's Mrs. Dalton-White. I've already lost it. And of course, I grew up in Polruan, where she was, when she was raising money to build this hospice, which was Cornwall's first hospice. The first one ever, and it was 43 years ago they opened the doors, and we're only 25. I wish. You're a volunteer with us because?
Well, I lost my husband back in 2017, early 2017, and that was to cancer. It was prostate cancer. It was advanced. And I really wanted to do some volunteering when the time was right. He didn't actually come to the hospice, but the hospice has always been very much a part of my life, in that, I've belonged to several places where, we'll fundraise for the hospice. It's meant so much to the community and to the whole county, really. And I do get a lot out of it. It forms a structure to my week. I do a lot of other hobbies, but I really enjoy coming over here. I just do one morning a week, and I stick to just one morning a week on reception. And it's just lovely, the people that I meet, the staff. I like to try and help people who come visiting and come in their initial, visit, to sort of be a friendly face, reassure them, welcome them. And
we have a laugh, don't we?
And we certainly have. We certainly have a lot of laughs. Everybody, I do feel that people come in and they feel like it's a home from home.
And I think it's really special, and I'm not sure why, so this is an interesting thing for us all to talk about, but really special when you come to either of our hospices or any of our shops, you're going to be greeted by a volunteer.
Yes.
So
Yes.
someone who wants to be there.
Yes.
There's something about
Yeah.
you choose to do that's special, isn't there?
Yeah, and it is something I feel very committed to. And there was the gap with COVID when I think a couple of volunteers did stay on, but we were advised not to come over. But the hospice still obviously kept running and did their best for everyone. And then as soon as I was able to come back, I was back.
And it's lovely to see you. I so love all our volunteers and being able to chat to them. Also with us, I should explain, is Amanda. And Amanda, you look after our volunteers, don't you?
I do, yeah.
So volunteers are important to our charity because?
Because we simply could not do what we do without that gift of commitment, time, passion, fun, laughter that every single volunteer in their own way, in their own special way, offers the charity. Whether it's gardening, in our shops, in our donation centres, in the hospices, on reception, on the ward, whatever it is, if it's an hour a week or if it's 2 days a week, it's extraordinary watching people make a massive difference daily to the teams and to the people who come through our doors for whatever reason. So that's why.
And do you know what? I think it's important that people understand that there are far more volunteers in our charity than there are paid staff.
There are. Currently, I look after volunteering across the charity, so I'm in the luxurious position of knowing that there's over 800 volunteers in our charity at the moment. And that's overwhelming. That's a massive amount of people local to all the areas across the county, really, who are passionate about our cause and our needs and want to give their time, skills, and energy. I mean, how inspiring is that? It gets me up every morning, and I'm sure, as Anna said, she comes because she's committed to helping and being a part of something so wonderful, really, for our whole county. So yeah.
And of course, people can do as little or as much as they can. I think this is really important to understand. We're not asking 5 days a week, 35 hours or whatever.
I think that's, maybe that's an old style idea, but volunteering is flexible. And, we're here, we have a team working with me, and it's about what works for you within the remit of what you can give, and also what's needed at any given time. But we have young people, we have people who've perhaps been recently retired. We've got people who've been volunteering in our fundraising groups for 32 years. I've often heard people say, "Oh, I've only been a volunteer for 14 years." 14 years! I mean, that's incredible. It's extraordinary.
And that's the other thing. I'm only a volunteer.
I know.
No, you're not. You're such an important part of the team.
Yeah.
But you know that. You appreciate that, don't you?
I always feel I'm only a volunteer, but no, I'm always told, no, you're not. You're very important. And everybody, I do feel part of the team. It's, everybody's very welcoming.
Yeah.
And it's great.
So if someone were watching and thinking, I might be interested in helping, what's their first move?
Or there's a variety of ways to get in touch. So you could maybe have a look at our website, and there's links through to volunteer pages talking about all the kinds of roles across the charity that might be of interest, and there are many and varied. And then there's a way to apply straight through the website, and my team and myself will receive that information. We'll get in touch with you, or if you're near to a hospice, you might walk through the door and just ask someone for some help or give us a ring. So multiple ways, and it's easy. Or via social media, you might see something and just say, ping a message. That's all good.
Well, thank you for giving your time to talk to me. It's an added burden for a volunteer when I pop up and go, can you do an interview? But there we are.
It's wonderful.
And thank you for your time. And listen, I just want to draw your attention to these wonderful little decorations for Halloween. These lovely pumpkins that have just appeared on the tables on our concourse.
I think it's autumn and Halloween, isn't it? Beautiful, like the garden.
So just remember, if you want to find out more, it's cornwallhospicecare.co.uk.